Hands up.
Here's on that picture.
Is that enough light, or do you want to open
No, I think that should be fine. It's pretty bright. Yeah, it's fine.
Is it on? Am I looking at you or the
Look at
camera?
me, yeah.
Okay. To start my name.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Eric Wagner.
Okay, how long have you been a cop?
Since 1995.
A long time. What area do you work? What police work do you do?
I'm a patrol deputy with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, and my patrol area is the central part of the county down by the landings.
Okay. What exactly do you do there? Like, are you like a traffic cop or?
A little bit of everything. Traffic, occurred past stuff like criminal mischiefs, burglaries, domestic disputes, things that happened in the past, things that are going on right now. That's part of the patrol.
Okay.
Responding to traffic crashes. We do a little bit of everything.
Wow, that's a lot. Do you like what you do?
I do.
For the most part? Or does it affect your family a lot or not really?
I try not to let it. I try to decompress before I get home, leave the job at the job.
Mm-hmm.
Understand I'm a cop 24/7, but it does need to come home with me.
Okay. What are your views on the death penalty?
The death penalty, take it or leave it. Somebody murders a loved one, they deserve to die, in my opinion. But with that price comes to other issues. Cost effectiveness of keeping that person on death row for 15, 20 years. The way appeals are set up and whatnot, it could take 15 years or longer to get an appeal. Average cost is about $35,000 a year for that person to sit on death row until their appeal is heard. And then if their appeal is heard and then still they get a guilty verdict, they can have a governor's pardon at the last minute. That would keep them in jail for even longer. There's a give and take with the death penalty. I think it's good, but the cost effectiveness of it is, it kind of puts a damp on the program.
Okay, and what is the death penalty in Florida?
There's lethal injection and the electrocution, the electric chair. The lethal injection they've had issues with, I think, with how long it actually took for the person to die. Like the anesthetic wasn't kicking in as fast as it was supposed to, so the lethal injection actually causes your body to shut down, like a heart attack or something of that nature chemically, and the anesthetic wasn't kicking in fast enough. So for 30 seconds to a minute before the death, people were suffering, if you will. So I think they've suspended the lethal injection until they get all that worked out.
Okay. Going back to your police work, how many people do you think in general have you arrested or have you brought into the sheriff's office?
I would say over 1,000, easy, over 15 years, from misdemeanor arrest up to felony arrest, probably around 1,000. Okay.
And how many of those do you know of that have gotten the death penalty, or do you not know of any of them personally that you arrested?
I don't recall ever arresting anybody for a murder. I worked in narcotics for 4 years doing undercover work. Some of the people I arrested for drug charges may have eventually wound up with a murder charge, that type of thing. But I've never actually arrested anybody for murder. As a patrol deputy, you wouldn't be the one doing that. You would, let's say you saw the bad guy running from the scene, hypothetically. You grab him, put him in your car. If it turns out to be a murder scene, then a detective will come work that angle of it, get the confession or whatnot. So then technically the detective would be in charge of the arrest.
Okay. Now back to the death penalty. Do you agree with the death penalty? Do you disagree with it? What are your views on it?
I agree with it in a sense that if you take a loved one's life, then you should pay that price also. The part that I don't agree with is the process of appeals and whatnot, how long it takes for that person to stand trial and eventually be executed. But with that, there's a can of worms with DNA evidence now as opposed to even 10 years ago. Some wrongly accused people, I'm sure, have been executed, but they were convicted on 10 years ago, 15 years ago evidence that now would be obsolete. So it's a give and take.
Okay. Do you think there is a better alternative to the death penalty?
I'm a firm believer in if you took someone's life, sitting in jail thinking about it the rest of your life, I think that would be torturous. I think that's a decent alternative until something else can be figured out. But having to spend the rest of your natural life behind bars and as you watch your life pass by and your family and friends and loved ones, you can't be with them just like the person whose life you took. You'd have to be apart. I think that's a good alternative.
Okay, and then last, how long do you plan on staying a police officer?
Probably another 15 years or so.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I have to do any questions.